Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to call the October Steering Legislative and Governmental Committee meeting to order. First item of business, we need to approve the minutes from our last meeting, and I'll call on Vice Chairman Commissioner Gooch.
I move to approve, Mr. Chairman.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Next, we need to announce a citizen at large vacancy on the audit committee to fill the unexpired term of David Nipper. That term is set to expire September of 2014. Next, we need to fill a vacancy on the Codes Enforcement Adjustments and Appeals Board. Commissioners, we've received two applications for this appointment. One, Mr. Glenn Taylor and Mr. Robert Warren. See Mr. Taylor and Mr. Warren here? Let's see him. Mr. Taylor, as we typically do, we like to allow the applicants to speak to the committee and share any thoughts on why you want to serve, and let us know a little bit about yourself that's not on the paper here.
Well, I'm a native of Rutherford County. I've lived here probably 95% of my life. Educated in the local school system, attended MTSU. I have retired as of a year ago, the 28th of September. I'm involved with a number of organizations, but I feel it's time maybe to fill some civic obligations. So I'm interested in getting involved with the government of Rutherford County and find out really what's going on. I admit I have never had any experience in this field, so I figure this is a good learning spot for me. And grew up out on 231 South, Shelbyville Road, which is now Indian Hills. I was the fourth generation to live there. I'm involved with a number of organizations. I'm the president of the Stones River Chapter Sons of the American Revolution, and also state chairman for our Eagle Scout scholarship program. If anybody has any other questions?
Any questions? I don't see any. Thank you, Mr. Taylor. Just want to clarify, Mayor, do you know this one on where they've written on board applying for, it says building codes appeals? I'm assuming this is, and that's where Vicki had it filed. I just want to.
Building code, well, this should be what it should be.
Codes enforcement.
Yeah,
I just want to make sure.
enforcement.
Okay. Just wanted to verify that. All right, Commissioners, we have two applications and we need to decide on one. Do we have a motion?
We nominate both of them. Like one.
A motion, do we have a second?
Second.
All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Ms. Becky, will you please call the roll?
Commissioner Black,
Mr. Warren.
Commissioner Farley,
Mr. Warren.
Commissioner Gooch,
Mr. Taylor.
Commissioner Jordan,
Mr. Taylor.
Commissioner McAdoo,
Mr. Taylor.
Commissioner Coggin.
Mr. Taylor.
4 for Taylor, 2 for Warren.
All right, Mr. Taylor, you'll be recommended to the full commission on October 17th. Does that sound right?
It does.
Oh, goodness. Commissioner Jordan can always keep us straight there. Yes. All right. Next, we need to fill a vacancy on the Board of Zoning Appeals. We've received one application for that, Mr. Joe Machado. Mr. Machado, do you care to address the committee?
Chairman, all members, I've been serving on the board. Well, I started out as an alternate, served for a couple of years, and then when Tony Webb passed, I took his place, got appointed into his place. I've been serving on the board ever since then, and I'd like reappointment.
Any questions for Mr. Machado? Do we have a motion?
Motion to approve, Mr. Chairman. Second.
Motion and a second. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you, Mr. Machado. You two will be recommended for approval to the full commission on October 17th. All right, next we need to fill two vacancies on the beer board. One of these vacancies is a member and the other one is an alternate. We have two applications, however, neither one of them indicates which one is for, if one is for, in particular, the member or one for the alternate. The two applications are Jerry Sartain and Teresa McKee, or either one of them. There you go. Hey, Teresa. Okay, Jerry. Mr. Sartain, would you care to address the committee?
Members of the committee, I served on the beer board several terms. I think we've done a good job with the board of licensing for the beer and, you know, dealing with underage drinking. And you gentlemen, and I think I've done a good job, and I'd like to reappoint. Thank you.
So you're a member now.
I am.
And Teresa, do you have any?
I've lived here in Radford County for all my life. I've worked here for 26 years for State Farm. I've raised 2 kids. I've got grandchildren. I'm now retired, and I feel like I want to give something back to the community, and I appreciate y'all listening to me today.
Thank you, Teresa. We'll correct one thing I said. Mr. Sartain did check reappointment, so obviously that's a reappointment to the board as a member. So we'll clarify what I said. Do we have a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I think I'd like to move that Mr. Sartain be reappointed and as the regular member, and Ms. McKee is the alternate.
We have a motion. We have a second.
Second.
Motion and a second. All those in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. All right. Thank you both for your applications. Next, we have the appointment of a judicial commissioner of Ms. Jessica Willis. We have a motion
So moved.
and a second.
Second.
Any discussion on the motion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Thank you very much. All right, any other business? Commissioner Farrell?
I just wanted to throw it out and see what the will of the committee would be. Next month's meeting is November the 4th. I'm not gonna be able to be here and attend that night. And I was just wondering if the committee might be interested in looking at another night where I might be here. If not, I understand.
I do not have a problem. I mean, on the committee, we can ask
You know,
Ms. Taylor to look at some dates.
whatever the will of the
Dates.
committee is, you know.
It'd be better just to send out some dates. You have them all.
Well, we don't have the dates yet since the committee reassignment. I
Okay.
can pretty much guess, but it would just be a guess.
If it pleases the committee, why don't we have Ms. Taylor to look at the calendar, and or else it will be kind of basing some things off guesstimations. We'll send out a few dates.
Play it by ear.
Yeah. I'll ask her to send out an email later this week, and we'll get that firmed up. We'll see if we can. Are you out that whole week, or just that night?
The 4th and the 5th, I'm gonna be out. The 6th and the 7th, I'll be here.
Okay.
So, and since Wednesday's church night, 7th, if 7th's open, would be good.
7th would be budget. 6th should be available.
Okay.
Okay. Tentatively, does the 6th sound okay with everybody, that Wednesday? Okay.
Thank y'all for.
No problem. Church doesn't start till 7.
That's right.
We ought to be out.
There you go.
He's gonna bring supper that night.
That's right. That's right. All right, any other business?
Mr. Chairman,
Sir.
I just want to throw this out to the committee, and I have discussed this with numerous members over the years, but never really taken any action on it. But as you are very well aware, we're very blessed in this county with a lot of state champions in various sports. Guys, I guess we've honored, no telling how many football teams and basketball, track, and you name it, we've honored them, I guess. And the school board has joined us in that sometimes and had them at their meetings. Kind of discussed this with the mayor a little bit and looking for a way that we could honor academics, which is, after all, why we open the doors every day at 45 different places. I've done a little research on it. What I'm really looking for is some discussion maybe at our next meeting. I'm gonna bring it up at Health and Ed. I think that's probably where it needs to at least start. And then maybe we can just go right to the commission with something if they want to do it. We have so many outstanding students. I'm not exactly sure and exactly how to go about it, how to do it. And I'd be very interested in any comments that you all might have at any time as to how we might do this on the high school level. And keeping in mind that not only do we have a lot of public high schools, we also have a lot of private high schools and church-sponsored schools, whatever. And they would certainly be part of this. So we're talking about probably a large number of people, but we have in the past honored football teams. After all, I think we can do it for academics maybe sometime next spring, and I just like to at least start a discussion on it. And you know,
I think some kind of criteria to come up with and have some kind of bulletins of what they need to have or should have a requirement or.
I did talk. I really wanted to bring it to y'all, at least mention it publicly before anything really happened on it. I did talk with a few guidance people at a couple of our local high schools. They had some ideas which sounded very reasonable to me, but you know, I just kind of want to open up for discussion. And it's very difficult. I can tell you right now to decide who is, and I would think seniors, who is your best senior student at pick school. It is a lot of different ways to do that, and because they have a lot of different criteria, but they have a way that they do it. And I found I have a secret plan, like Richard Nixon. I have a secret plan to end the war in Vietnam, or whatever. I shouldn't have even said that. I'm sorry I brought that up. I have no plan at all, none. Don't put that in the minutes. I didn't say it. Didn't mention Richard Nixon enough.
Well, there's going to be some kind of guideline
Right.
or qualifications that they'd have to meet to.
They have a way that they do it, and of course they have a graduation ceremony, obviously. And the valedictorians and the salutatorians, whatever they speak, and when you have a high school, and that would be just about all our major high schools, where you've got 400, 500, 600 graduates, you don't have a lot of times one person. You know, you've got 10 or 12 that have 4.0 averages, and do they let them all speak? It's a problem. But they've got a way, which we can discuss later, of how they come up with who they think is their best student, or students, because a lot of times there are ties. Matter of fact, most of the time there's a tie.
Yeah.
Is it not known, not speaking at the school board right now?
I'm sorry,
At
Jeff?
the school board, do they not speak there?
I don't know.
Recognize them at the
That's
school board?
an excellent question, and I don't know if they do that or not. I certainly can find that out, and I will find that out. Oh,
We've got a school board
got a
member
school board
here.
member right here.
We do recognize outstanding kids from all schools. We don't pool all kids and grade them. We let the principals and the staff of the school submit them to us.
Thank you, Mr. Nicker. With y'all's permission, I'm gonna bring this up at Health and Ed on the 29th of October, and let's just see what they have to say. We've got a few months.
Well, I was thinking, I know that when we honor the football teams and we honor individual, like in track and field, but when you first brought it up, I thought you were maybe referring to someone who might win a national essay contest. That it may not be the smartest, brightest student, but someone who has achieved something academically in that respect. So is that kind of what you're thinking about too, or just picking one person from each high school?
Well, I wasn't thinking one person necessarily, but certainly the top grade point average, yes, because that's how they would honor them, and that's how. And I don't know how I think each school does it maybe a little bit differently. I don't think if they have. I know one year because the young man worked with me at WGNS Radio, all right, and he was a senior. He was graduating. He had a 4.0 average, and I congratulated him, and so forth. Because I have a 4.0 average to me is, you know, that's just another planet somewhere. I have no idea how one does that. But he was quick to tell me. He said, "Well, there were 13 of us." And I thought, well, okay. I didn't ask him how they gonna handle the speaking at graduation. I don't know if they drew numbers out of a hat or what they did, but, you know, I assume they all spoke, I don't know. So that's it's a problem. I mean, it is when you say, who is our best student? That's a problem. And I don't know if we can do it or not, but I sure think that trying to do it is a whole lot better, I think, than just not doing anything at all. I'm not sure how to go about it yet, though.
Well, I'm gonna brag here. I got two of my two sons were valedictorians at Blackman High School about 3 years ago, so I was very proud of them.
Your blood kin?
I might be out of line. But let me, as I said, I'm the state chairman for the SAR Society Eagle Scout competition. We do pick one, but everybody enters into this contest or for the scholarship. They get a certificate and a letter congratulating them. That might be something you might want to look at.
And when I say we, I'm talking really about Mr. Burgess and myself. We kind of discussed this very informally about 6 to 8 weeks ago, and certainly we could come up with a list of names, and we can, you know, but it's like we do our notaries. I mean, you know, there they are, but they're not really read into the record. They're not read publicly. They're in the record, but they're not read publicly, that kind of thing. And I would think we'd want to do, I'd like to have them in the room if we're going to do it. And our taxpayers pay millions of dollars for these kids to be educated. We all know that. And I think to see the results of their labor and their tax money could be an important thing. And it could be important to these children, to the youngsters, young people.
Well, a lot of times we forget that we shouldn't, but these ball teams that we're recognizing, they're students first, athletes second. You know, and that's what school's all about. School's about education. You know, and I think we ought to recognize these young men and women for the work that they put in every day to obtain that 4.0 or 3.75 or whatever they got. So I think it's a good idea, and I think it's something we need to do.
Well, we win. Gosh, Rutherford County just got, gosh, I don't know how many state champions. I haven't kept up with it, but we just had just about every sport. We've had somebody in just about every school. We've had somebody every other year or something that wins something. And where are they? They're on the front page of the newspaper, which is exactly where they should be. Mm-hmm. All right, but you have a youngster that gets in there and overcomes no telling what obstacles to get into a college or whatever, and is studying ridiculously hard, etc., makes whatever average they make, 4.0 or whatever, and you never know who they are.
No.
And there's nothing there. And I think we could maybe help a little bit in that regard, but think about it. And if you got, there's no motion, there's no, you know, here, I just thought I'd discuss it.
Thank you, Commissioner Jordan. All right, we stand adjourned.